Oh, hi guys. We've gotten ourselves into an interesting project. I had the 95 running earlier, about a week or so ago, and I moved everything out yesterday morning. Gonna get it out, fire it up, go over it, put the head on, and maybe cut beans. Well, that turned into a disaster. I'll have to show you, because you won't believe me. But, like I say, the building is cleared out, more or less.
Yeah.
But it took me 3 hours yesterday to find my problem. And I found it by accident with this. Now, on the 95 and the 55s, the later ones, and it depends on what series engine you've got as far as the 303, which is what this has. Getting to the points in condenser, you literally have to take the plate out, because the screw in which everything tightens up on is on the inside, and that cover is basically just like that on it, and you can't get to it unless you've got a set of ignition wrenches. Well, we've got some, I just don't know where they're at.
Yeah.
But my problem I found was this. Now, this was sticking up like this, and it was basically like that. And what it had done, what it was doing with it in, it was just laying there, and the condenser would get juice, and then it wouldn't. So the points would fire, but then they wouldn't fire. Well, after a million trips up and down the ladders, I had my test light checking, and I just happened to brush that wire and it moved. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Well, it was just barely hanging on by, just a thread, you might say. Well, with this in place, there's literally not enough wire to shorten it and put another spade end on it. And, is it good, is it bad? Replace it. Do you have any idea how hard it is to find a condenser these days?
Yep.
Went to the auto parts place up here, and one of the guys there he's good, and he knows how to get into the books, you might say, into the computer to find the listings for this older stuff for equipment. Well, he tells me he finally finds it. We had to go click through 180 or 190 pages to find John Deere. Well, that's when we discovered there's 3 different distributors. and you got to know which one it is. So I had to come back home to get the tag off the distributor to get the right condenser. Now, of course, this AutoZone store did not have one. And they looked on their parts finder computer and found, in fact, there was a store 35 miles south of me that had one. And it was the only one in the southwest Ohio area that had this condenser sitting on their shelf. Well, this trying to find it, well, I found out this was bad at about 4:30. I'm trying to do some other stuff to the combine. I go up, I find out it's the wrong thing, come back, I have to take this off, which you got to take this, takes the screws out of this. So I pull this out, pull this off, take it with me, take the tag in, he finds, guess what, we don't have it, but there is a store that does. I said, call them, tell them put my name on it, and I'm on my way. Well, I got there 10 minutes before the store closed and got it last night. And thankful that they had it. Otherwise, it would have been 2 days in order to get the part in. Bad thing is their little clip deal doesn't line up with the holes. So you got to kind of use your test light thing to bend it over to where you can get the screw back in it. And of course it's the wrong daggone way. So 3 hours of trying to figure out this was wrong, because I would have fire, then I wouldn't have fire, and then I would have fire. So I'm thinking, you know, it's in the electrical switch up in the dash. It could be anything from there back, and I'm tracing, you know, checking this, check that, check this, check that. And you know, after 10 or 20 trips up that ladder, and then up that ladder to get up into the cab, so you don't have to get down, go around, go up the cab ladder, into the cab to turn the key on and off. You get tired. Ain't that right, Pop?
Yeah, real quick.
So yesterday was, I don't want to say a complete wash, but it was.
Yep.
So today we got the new condenser. I'm going to get it mounted to the plate, and then I got to find my feeler gauges so I can set the points again at 20 thousandths and hopefully get it running again. I had originally hoped to be in the field cutting beans right now, but it is what it is.
Yep, afraid so.
So we'll be back here in a minute, guys. Okay. This is not the most convenient place to work. First off,
No, it's not.
while everything is easily accessible, I need to put a little lubricant on the lobes. Been told by a lot of guys what to use, what not to use, and for my normal self, I use whatever I want. And you can tell it needed it. Okay. get a bit on this felt so I can soak it up. That's what it is for. Help keep a little lube available so it doesn't run dry. Now, I've used the electrical grease for years on stuff, on these, and I've never really had any issues with it. So I continue to use it, and you just dab a little on and kind of work it into the felt. Once it's there, it's there. With the heating, it'll wick in and it's there. Now, it doesn't hurt also to put a little dab around these holes that hold it on. Just a little is all you need. So you got some lubricant on something on those screws. Yeah, fun part. Getting this little short wire back down inside of this with the other one. Missed. Well, why don't you want to go in there? And this is not the most convenient place to work.
No.
Standing cockeyed on a ladder. You didn't go in. Again. Alright. Pull you out too. Let's try this one first. Alright, you're in. Okay, now we're in with both. I just got to get it in a position where I can get to it with the screwdriver. And I can see what I'm doing through my bifocals. Okay. Now the fun starts. Now the fun starts because I got to line up the hole. A whole shooting match. So, that's where your good old ice pick comes in handy. You can put it in the hole. Whoops. To help line it up. Now this is the part that gets fun. Trying not to drop the screw as you try to line up the hole. I'm living right, boys. Okay. Now, this is the fun one. Oh, don't fall, don't fall. Ah, yes. That off of there. Okay. Be back in a minute. Okay, I'm going to try to do this. Now, set the points. They need to be set at 20 thousandths. So I've got a 20 thousandths feeler gauge. The points, as you can see, are right on the tip of the lobe. It's a little loose. So you back. Come on, get on there. You back the screw off until, you can feel just a little tension on it. And there it is. 20 thousandths gap. Just has just a little drag. My little pinpointer, well, that made it worse. But you get the idea. It's in there. As you can see, the little brush is rubbing the cam. So, put the cover back on. Put the button on. Put the cap back on. Oh, by the way, you don't want to go to John Deere to buy this distributor cap. I fell over when I did. A couple of years ago I had the one on this combine developed a problem. Oh. always such a pleasure to work on this thing. Problem was, it got a pinhole around the coil tower, and it shorted it out. Now, believe it or not, this was a new set of plug wires till the mice and rats got a hold of them and kind of chewed on them. That's why there's tape. So, now, hopefully, we are ready to try to start it. If everything went right, we got it. So let me get the mess picked up off the top of here, and I'll set the camera up and we'll crank it over and see what happens. So hang on, we'll be right back.